Good morning, students and staff. Hope you had a great weekend and you're ready for a great week of school. We're broadcasting to you from Miss DeMick's office this morning, where many of you go to talk with Miss DeMick. So that's where we're starting from this morning. Hopefully, most of you were able to complete your e-learning tasks. If not, you still have until tonight to get those done. They have to be done by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning in order for you to be counted present with an excused absence. All right, this Friday is our fun fair, and it costs $5 a person or $15 a family, and then you get to play all the games free and go for all the prizes. That starts at 6 o'clock and goes to 8 o'clock. Our core value for the month of April is cooperation, and so we'll be having our character convos this week. Tuesday will be kindergarten and first grade, and you'll be in the cafeteria. Wednesday is fourth and fifth grade, and you'll be in Dole Gym. And Friday, second and third grade in Dole Gym. So we'll be doing some activities that have to do with cooperation. WTS Live, you do not have rehearsal after school today, so no rehearsal after school today. Most of you know that the book fair is going on, so we won't be holding library classes as regularly scheduled. And if you have detention times, you'll either report to the large group room, and that's until 11:45, and then after that, probably one of the RTI rooms for study halls. So hopefully we'll work that out. We'll figure that out. May have to send out an email with more information for that. This newsletter had a few attachments to it that might be of interest to you, but you have to go and download that newsletter to get to the attachments, although we should have copies in the office. If you're interested in Pop Warner football at Boone Grove, there's a flyer for that. Also, if you like to design t-shirts or are artistically talented, Porter County Fair is sponsoring a t-shirt contest. And the Scouts, for Boy Scouts and also Girl Scouts, there will be flyers with information on that attached to the newsletter. Student Council for Bookstore, Mrs. Panthy's class is going to be working it on Tuesday, and Mr. Chowning's class on Friday. The recycling on Wednesday will be done by the third grade this time. Washington Whiz Kids for 4-H, you have a meeting tonight at 6:30. And remember to bring your wrapped candy for Easter eggs for the women's shelter. Student of the Week last week from Mrs. Higgins is Vinnie Makowitz for going above and beyond on classwork and following classroom expectations. Mrs. Stoners is Reagan Cruzwick for finishing addition facts in Otter Creek. Mrs. Thomas is Jackson Reeder for doing his best each day to follow the rules and be a good friend. Mrs. Bales, Molly Gilbert for always being kind and respectful and showing others by example. Mrs. Katuvis Prewi is Mason, Caleb, and Matthew. Mrs. Russell's is Charlie Orshansky, Caden Martin, and Mary Scott for making 100% on their weekly assessments. Mrs. Miller's is Oakley Gates for such a positive attitude. Mrs. Panthy's is the whole class for trying their best on iRead. Mr. Lemke's is Jackson Kick for doing well on his Hatchet test. Mrs. Krieger's Emily Schumann for always being supportive. Mrs. Zabrowski's is the whole class for great work on your e-learning day. And I'm sure we're missing a few, so if you check the newsletter, you'll see one probably from each class. So, to start our week off, we have a couple of dumb jokes. First of all, Lucas.
What dog does a clock own?
What dog does a clock own?
A watchdog.
A watchdog. Quinn?
How do you start a lightning bug race?
How do you start a lightning bug race?
On your mark, get set, glow.
On your mark, get set, glow. Thanks, and have a great week.